Hello and welcome to this edition of Big Scott 35 Saturday Chat, where I like to either talk about personal stuff going on in my hobby life or show you how I hobby with stuff in my hobby. It's a lot of hobbies in my collection, how I store, different things like that. This week, we're going to be I'll be showing off a few items that I just got back into my collection. So let's talk a little bit about the week that was. Sunday night had a roundtable discussion. Um, great. A little in depth. Want to talk about what different thoughts about what community is. How a community might be structured in this type of social dynamic, as we call it. Is that word used too much? Uh, I thought we had great discussion that just pretty much further discussion because there's no true answer for that. Community is what you make it personally, how you define it personally. Uh, yes, there are going to be groups and communities within communities, cliques, whatever you want to call it, high school cafeteria, your work cafeteria. Groups tend to get together. So we have the through the mailers, the vintage guys, the flippers, the people that are worried about the price of their collection, which I think not worried, but wants to know and have concerns. Uh, we don't want our prices, even us collectors, don't want our prices to go down. We want our collections to stay fruitful in case we have to, heaven forbid, have to get rid of something or we change direction in our hobby and decide that's not the way we want to collect anymore. Uh, you know, or you decide you don't want to collect. I'm very rapidly coming up on a birthday, another tour around the sun. Um, so I'll be 52 here in a little over a month. I'm single, been single, never married, I should say. No kids. I had nieces. I got nieces and nephews, and I've called uncle and friends' houses, but they're all grown up. But I never had to. I've talked about it before. I hid my collection for a while in my younger days, but man, once I got in my late 40s, I was like, this is who I am. I enjoy it. But I'm in an apartment, and if I do have to change things because I find someone uh, that's willing to take on my stupidity and ignorance, I know things I have to change, even at this late stage, to that. And I mean, so things change. And what I'm trying to get to is like our sense of community might change with that. I've talked to other people, uh, privately with the same thought processes, even ones that have girlfriends or boyfriends. And when that day comes where it might turn into more, or that person gets the key to the door, um, you have to make some sacrifices. And that's all I'm getting to now. Hopefully, if I do find somebody, they're very acceptable of my lifestyle. That would be or enjoy it as well. I mean, I've stated I see more and more females at each one of these shows that I go to, and not only they're asking questions, collecting, they're right in the mix, man. They're not standing back letting Junior. I mean, what has been better than that is whole families collecting how each one in the family collects separately. And this last show was a father teaching a son, how to do trades, and hey, you want to do this? I can't do it for you every time. It's time for you to step up. Not kind of, yeah. I was standing there. I was like, man, hey, nothing's gonna hurt you if they say no, I can't do that. Your pride might, but you go home, it's fine. Uh, that's my point of community, and things changing. Uh, you know, I change. Just that was my whole point with the community and stuff that went on before it kind of led up to that. The word was getting thrown around. How much how you interact in the community makes you part of the community, or are you not part of the community? Because I have one friend that declares up and down he's not part of the community, and I keep telling him you can fight it, but you're part of it. You're on shows, you make comments, people come to your channel in droves. You People know your name. You're part of the conversation, indirectly or directly. Sorry, you're part of the community. Now, and other people swear they're a part of the community, and I just don't see that. They don't comment. They don't watch other videos. They don't know people in the community, and I don't care if they know me or not. It'd be nice if I guess I do care, but it'd be, nice. But the facts are the facts. I don't know everybody. There's no way to know everybody that makes videos. No way. And I mean, I have cut down on what I'll watch. I watch, people that, first the people I watch are the people that I interact with, phone calls, direct messaging, a little bit outside of just messaging on the channels. Then I do the channels, and then anything that kind of strikes me. I'm trying to do more and more with the smaller channels because I know how that feels. Believe me. Gosh, do I know how that feels. And like I said, I think 2 weeks from this week, I am on 5 years, and I'm still a very small channel in a very small niche in a very small part of the YouTube world. Collecting ball cards is a very, very small niche in this community. If I would jump. When I do my video game stuff, I get people that really like it. But there was a time when I did a lot more of that, and I had a lot more interaction because the video game world is huge. That group is a huge market. Uh, and they interact. It's a close knit, just like us, but they're a little bit more all inclusive group that from what I've seen. And I could easily, that's what I said before. I've watched people change how they do things to get traction and to get clicks, however you want to voice it. So that was my point on Sunday night, and I wanted to do it in a very upbeat way to try to just have a discussion on that term community and what it meant to different people. And I think I did pretty well with it. I think we did. It was a great roundtable. Ed, Natsman, Mike. I know that's some of my typical, but Ed's been in doing this 10 years. Man, what I would have loved to have like Amish Dave, who started with him, and some of the other OGs. That's one of the Dave on here, Midlife Card Crisis. But I didn't want a large group because I wanted to have control of not where it was going, the narrative, but I wanted us to have a better discussion. I think with more people, we would have had not as well rounded, or we would have been way longer than an hour. And after we stopped, Ed wanted to keep going, and I was like, Wesker Griff, and I was like, man, I like to keep it an hour. Hour and a half is stretching it for me. But I will. I mean, I feel a long one coming on for a special occasion, and I'm trying to get some people together for that. So Monday was me and my pops chit-chatting about baseball. Man, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. Something happened today, which has been going on the last few weeks, with a big name in not only the hobby, but baseball. Love Monday. This Monday coming up, we're going to be chatting, I'm sure, Ohtani talk. But last week we had a little Ohtani talk, and then we had we're going to be talking more and more of like MVP, Cy Young. So please bring your thoughts on that, different awards. With Ohtani being down for the rest of the year, kind of how he ended the season. A lot of times the voters look at how you end the season more than how you started. That's why I think Gunnar Henderson has a really good chance at Rookie of the Year. Even Senga, that pitching heat in SNY and some of my SNY is the New York station that Mets are on, and some of the my talk groups, my podcast groups, and just groups that I'm in for Mets baseball are talking about Senga, even Cy Young talk, not Cy Young winning, but talk. You got to be in a talk a couple years most of the time to be considered. It's tough to just bust on the scene and win it unless you're just dominant, and which people have been. It's not like it's unheard of, but it's better to have a track record. That's one of those ones that having a track record really helps. And me and my pops be talking about that, but I'll be on a week that's coming up. That's the week that it was. If you haven't watched it, we're getting more and more watchers. My dad loves it. My dad knows his stuff. I know, I'm sitting here sounding like my dad could beat up your dad. It's nothing like that. Believe me, I'm not like that. If my dad didn't know his crap, he wouldn't be on my channel. But he's taught me, gave me a great, stable baseball. I mean, he watches it, learns it. He's taught a lot of kids in our neighborhood how to play. He took us to a lot of ball games growing up and was right there, point out things. And I try to do that as well, because you hear a lot of times that the younger generation is just not in it. I don't agree with that at all. A lot of I'm telling you, some people want to disagree, but it's on in a lot of houses. It might not be the main thing on, or it's a background noise for a lot of households, but it's on. And people watch it, and you just kind of gravitate to it. And I think this playoffs, and this is not going to, having the Yankees and the Red Sox not in it just opens the door for two teams maybe that we haven't seen that much of. Toronto, we got Houston again, looks like, because Texas kind of pooped the bed here, but Texas still battling. I haven't looked at wild cards right now. Now, me and my dad will talk more about that on Monday. Again, that's for next week. But, I know I'm chatting a lot about it, but, I'm just happy about talking about things that make me happy this week. I want my laugh to come back, right, Andy? Let's see. So, and I do want to thank everybody for reaching out to me for last Saturday. A lot of good things in the chat, things to think about in the chat, discussions in the chat, people reaching out, texting me, calling me. I didn't need to be talked off the ledge, but it was a day or two there where I was like, man, do I want to be part of this anymore? But anyway, I digress. We keep moving on, and now I got a smile on my face. So we get to Wednesday at showing off cards, pickups. Actually, the pickups were autographs, just ironically, low end, very low end autos. And I talked about, I got them authenticated. It's just the way I like to store them, just trying to be, it's just easier to store. It's better to find them. Just keep them uniformed in my box. I have 2-row, the cardboard grading boxes, and I just like them in there with that, because I keep my autos and patches in that type, because a lot of them will be in one touches, those really won't. They were just in top loaders with a superior fit sleeve on them. But I just like to have them uniformed. So I have all my in persons now certified. Uh, I don't really get a lot of my pack pulled stuff graded. I just put them in one touches. Outside of whatever reason, I like to have my Star Wars graded because of all the colors and everything that are on it. Just pops in that SGC holder, and also the CSG. Man, those black border, CSG, everything else goes to SGC, or dark border, I should say, to CSG or CGC, whatever we're calling them now. Then am I wrestling? I like to have wrestling. I'm kind of, just depends on what the card looks like to me. If I think it looks better graded, or if it's a higher end one, I'll send a PSA DNA, or even get a grade crossover graded. But that's a little expensive right now. I have that Trish Stratus that I pulled out of Prism that I kind of want to do that with. Right now I have it in a one touch, which is fine. It's behind me on a shelf. That's kind of a bigger. I'm not going to sell it. I was going to sell it, this would be a time, because I think she just had her last run, and a great run that she had in WWE. So talked a little bit. If you want to hear more about how I do autographs and purchasing them raw on eBay, my thoughts on that, and I can touch on that now. Low end, less than $20, $15, whatever. Mike Moorhan said it once before. You just don't, unless they're selling 50 of them all at once. But if they just got this random, especially guys, like you look at their mailing address and they're in the New York, Flushing area, or down in Florida where Mets spring training, and they have hundreds of Mets autos, they go to spring training or they go to events and get those graded. I don't have an issue, and a lot of them are very low end, stuff. I'm trying to get 69s and 86s graded. My man Dave, Midlife Crisis, I know, has, I think, both, or this 86 set in person or archive graded, or not great autos. That's it, graded autos. Misspoke. So that's just something that I keep in. I don't have that written down in goals or anything. It's just something that I look for. Let's see. Next would have been Thursday, Nerdy Thursday. Talk about pop culture. I don't want to. Some people are like, "Why is that nerdy?" Hey, it's an acceptable term now, man. I embrace my nerdies, man, on everything, to ball cards, to pop culture. This is all you love it. We nerd it. One of my favorite couples that do gaming and anime and toys. They say that. Great phrase. So had fun with that. Showed off a couple things. Talked about Asuka. Don't need to go over that again. Love Asuka. If you want to hear more about that, go check that out. Let's see. And then that gets us to today. Today, I just want to talk about my goals. I'm going to touch on my goals, I think, on Saturday. Have not bought a card on the interwebs. Haven't bought. The only thing I bought is a handful from Mike O, which I told you. Mike keeps ordering cases and boxes and stuff. So if he's going to open them, I don't mind getting them from him. I can get them right then. The singles, purchased one from his Chrome break the other day. He didn't do too well. If you want to check that out, I can see it coming, because the Bowman Chrome, this year's Bowman, first cards, not really deep in prospects. I could be proven wrong in a few years or even now. Some people can even argue it now, probably, but I just don't see it. We do have some depth in prospects in baseball, but I didn't really see much this year from the draft. A lot of pitchers from the draft this year, a lot of pitchers, and a lot of shortstops. So that means they drafted athletes and pitchers, and a lot of their shortstops will end up being second baseman, center fielder, even a few probably catchers. Seems to be a thing. So, or some third baseman. So keep an eye out for that if your team drafted some shortstops. Because I was doing a live the night of the draft, and I was like amazed at just the amount of pitchers. In the trade right after, like the trade deadline right after that was pitcher heavy. I digress. I know I'm a ball card, but that stuff interests me. Seeing the trends, but I'm going to take a time and check out whatever that eBay noise was and let y'all check out what I just picked up or got back into my hobby. So take a look at this. So this first piece that I had done at the Hobby Lobby is actually on a Stormtrooper head, like almost like a diagram or a hollow like they would do on Star Wars. But you see down here it says Secret Lab, so they make chairs and all kinds of stuff for computers. And on the back side of this, or this is the back side, is the directions on putting the chair together. Hopefully this glare that I'm having is not taken away from this piece here. But I don't know where I'm going to put it yet. I just don't want to get it framed while I was getting this next piece that I'm going to show you framed. So this next one I had framed at Hobby Lobby, you've all seen before. Picked up at the National. Gooden Strawberry and Tyson Auto at Old Shea Stadium. Love this picture. They do make this print in color as well. Really like the black and white. Hobby Lobby does a great job. They also, they attach the certification on the back there. So good job by Hobby Lobby. I get them to do all my stuff for me. Pricey, yes, but it's done great, and I don't have to worry about it. And I think it's going to go up there beside Pete and McNeil. Have to move around some pictures, but I want to get that probably shown in my collection. So there you have it on this Saturday share of my collection. Back to you, Scott. Oh man, I can't wait to get that one picture. Let's see if I can get got the wrong finger up here behind me. The Doc and Straw and Tyson. I was never a huge Mike Tyson fan, but come on, that's pop culture, baby. Come on, there's three. That picture has a nickname. Really don't want to say it on here. Well, I've heard it be called a certain thing. I don't know if it fits it perfectly. So love that picture, and of course, man, love my Stormtroopers. Once I get that spare bedroom a little cleared out from all my cards that I have, some purging, selling, just getting rid of it. I'll find somewhere in there to put that my game room / whatever else it is. And I don't know if I'm staying at this apartment or not. So that's what the future holds. So yeah, that's it. My goals, a couple of pickups. I'm trying to think, my goals, I'm still in a 1 pack a day, and I feel like I'm not going to pick anything up. I'm going on a trip next month that I'm excited to share with y'all. Try to take as much video as I can. And that trip, I've already said it before, it's to Cooperstown. I already got my flight. It's a long weekend. Land Friday. Mike's picking me up. I'm going to spend Saturday and Sunday at the Baseball Hall of Fame and fly back early Monday morning. I think I go back to work on Wednesday. So I'm excited for that. So this week coming up, I think Sunday, I need to reach out to Mike and hopefully we'll be on because it's me, him, and hopefully Natsman too. Because I love what Natsman adds, and Natsman kind of gave up on this YouTube community because of things like last week. That's why I was loving having him on. The cynicism and all that, just the backstabbing and clawing to get over, finger pointing, all that stuff. And Matt and Natsman kind of, takes things to heart, and that's what I admire about it. But this week I really want to talk about a few releases that we've had. What is worth purchasing, what's not worth purchasing. JD has an awesome video on that right now comparing two products. That's JD Sports Cards. Check that out. I'll put a link down below for it. And his channel is growing. Congratulations to him on his growth and all that. But I really would like to talk about that and some few other things in the hobby right now that are intriguing. He does a lot of selling and things like that, and I like to get his viewpoint on some of that. That'll be great to see, talk to him about. And also that'll be Monday. I did Monday, me and my dad. This week is Mets talk. We did Orioles last week. Man, I am dry today. My allergies. So we'll be talking about the Mets. You might see me get fired up. And also Ohtani, who's going to be in the playoff. We should know probably this week pretty much what the playoffs are, what we think is going to happen. This week of the season is a lot different than week one when we were talking. And we'll probably bring up some of that and see where we're at from there to then to now, start comparing. And we're getting to the exciting part. If you don't like baseball and you don't watch playoff baseball, I know it's not the same as some other stuff, but if you only watch the exciting parts, playoff baseball is where it's at. We're going to have different teams in it this year. Not the same old. 6 teams as well, so a little bit more. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch, fun to talk about. Just a fun time. We also had the football season going on. Me and my dad probably talk a little bit about the bleed into that as well. Try not to, but it's hard to not. And then Wednesday, SGC. I've had 2 SGC 2023 Chrome Tops returns. I opened a jumbo box, slow rolled it, and then opened up 2 of the value boxes or whatever. So I broke them up into 2 submissions so I wouldn't get clobbered on pricing, even at $9. I got to watching my pennies, man. It's rough out here in these streets. So I've been having to do that. I like to stretch my hobby dollars. I don't have to have all my cards graded, but I'll show you what I had graded, what's going on my PC, and what would be going on my sales. And let's see, I might have another nerdy Thursday. Oh, we'll have another nerdy Thursday talking about video games. And that's it. That'll be the week coming up. Excited. Man, working a lot of overtime at work. Just, trying to put some funds in the bank, already looking to National 2024. But more of that next year. So, and I mean, I would tell people, if you're thinking about going, put a little, have another little account. That's what I have, and that's where that money goes into, that just for that show, just so I can buy something special and say it came from the National. Not everybody feels that way, but I have fun seeing my friends. It's a fun vacation for me, and so that's why I do that. So until next time, like, share, tell a friend. Welcome to my new subscribers. Until next time, see ya.